Islam, as the second largest religion in the world, is now showing significant development in various parts of the world, including in Western countries. One of them is the United Kingdom. In recent decades, the growth of Islam in the country of Queen Elizabeth has become an interesting social and spiritual phenomenon to highlight. Islam first arrived in England in the 18th century through sailors, traders, and students from British colonies, such as India and the Middle East. However, the presence of the Muslim community only began to be felt significantly in the mid-20th century, especially after World War II. After the war, Britain opened its doors to immigrants from Commonwealth countries to help rebuild the economy. Many of them were Muslims from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India. These communities then grew and developed, forming mosques, community centers, and religious institutions. According to the 2021 UK National Census data, Islam is the second largest religion after Christianity, with more than 3.9 million Muslims living in England and Wales, an increase of more than 1 million in the previous decade. This means that almost 7% of the total population is Muslim. The main factor for this growth is not only immigration, but also the increasing birth rate among Muslim families, and, to the surprise of many, the increasing number of converts. Every year, thousands of Britons choose to embrace Islam. The vast majority are young white women. Their motivations are varied, from spiritual quests to an interest in Islamic values to profound personal experiences. Mosques are now part of the landscape of major British cities such as London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Bradford. Some large mosques, such as London's Central Mosque in Regent's Park, symbolize a strong Islamic presence in the heart of the city. In addition, Muslim communities are active in many aspects of life: education, economics, politics, and the media. Many Muslim politicians have held prominent positions, including in the British Parliament. However, this development has not always been smooth sailing. Islamophobia, negative stereotypes, and discrimination remain serious challenges facing the British Muslim community. Incidents of hate against Muslims have increased since the terrorist attacks, despite the majority of British Muslims strongly condemning acts of extremism. To combat prejudice, many Muslim organizations are active in social work, interfaith dialogue, and campaigns against extremism in order to show a peaceful and tolerant face of Islam. With a younger generation of Muslims growing up in a British environment, the future of Islam in this country looks bright. They carry a dual identity as Muslims and British citizens, forming a bridge between two worlds that were previously considered separate. Education, integration, and cross-cultural dialogue are key to creating harmony. Islam in the UK is no longer just the religion of an immigrant community, but part of the nation's cultural and spiritual diversity. The thriving Islam in the UK reflects a wider global dynamic: the search for meaning, the blending of cultures, and the challenges of building tolerance. Amidst the differences, the spirit of unity and mutual understanding is the hope for an inclusive future. Education plays a vital role in shaping the identity and future of the Muslim community in the UK. Today, there are hundreds of Islamic schools across the country, both independent and state-funded. Not only that, many Muslim students also study at prestigious universities such as Oxford, Cambridge, and University College London. They are active in various Muslim student organizations and speak out on important issues such as social justice, climate, and human rights. We are not just studying for our future, but also to make a positive contribution to British society as a whole. Islam in the UK is developing not only as a spiritual belief, but also as part of its cultural identity. British Muslim music, art, fashion, and literature are gaining increasing attention. Muslim artists are bringing new narratives about life as British and as Muslim. Islamic festivals, Ramadan bazaars, and interfaith fast-breaking activities show the color and contribution of Muslim culture, which is increasingly accepted by the wider community. The Muslim community in the UK also has a significant contribution in the economic sector. Thousands of Muslim entrepreneurs run small businesses to large companies, creating jobs and driving local economic growth. Islamic zakat and charity institutions are actively helping the community, not only Muslims, but also other communities in need. This shows the universal value of Islam in doing good and providing benefits for all. Despite facing various challenges, The UK is often seen as one of the countries that has a relatively successful model of diversity. The Muslim community lives side by side with adherents of other religions and ethnicities within a legal framework that upholds freedom of religion and expression. Interfaith dialogue, cross-community cooperation, and Muslim involvement in public policy show a dynamic and adaptive process of integration. The development of Islam in the UK is also a global concern. Many countries use the UK's experience as an example in managing religious and ethnic diversity. The role of British Muslim leaders, both nationally and internationally, shows that Muslim identity and Western citizenship are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they can be a force for building a more inclusive and peaceful world. In an age of identity tensions and polarization, the story of Islam in the UK is a reminder that religion is not a barrier, but a bridge to knowing, understanding, and living together in diversity. Islam continues to grow in Britain, not in the shadow of conflict, but in the light of contribution, education, and compassion. A story of hope which will continue to be written by future generations of British Muslims. With more and more young Muslims growing up and studying in Britain, the future of this community looks increasingly bright. They are active not only in academics, but also in the arts, sports, media, and technology, bringing new colors to the face of Islam in Britain. Awareness of their dual identity, as Muslims and as British citizens, is driving the emergence of progressive, critical, and constructive young voices. They speak about social justice, the environment, and global solidarity, while affirming Islamic values in their daily lives. Islamic schools, cultural centers, and interfaith discussion forums are spaces where a broader understanding of Islam as Rahmatan lil Alamin, Islam as a blessing for all of nature, can grow. Their differences are not seen as threats, but as opportunities for mutual enrichment. The story of Islam in Britain is one of spiritual awakening coupled with social commitment. It is not about being other from society, but about being an integral part of the nation's larger story, carrying the light of Islam's universal values, justice, compassion, and peace. And as long as this spirit of inclusivity is maintained, Islam in Britain will not only survive, but will continue to inspire for the country itself and for a world that yearns for harmony and diversity. In the future, challenges will certainly remain, from issues of Islamophobia, discrimination, to misperceptions of Islamic teachings. But with a growing collaborative spirit, the Muslim community in Britain is showing that change can be achieved through dialogue, education, and example. Muslim youth organizations are increasingly speaking out for the importance of participation in public and political life. They are not only fighting for the rights of their community, but also engaging in wider national issues, from poverty alleviation to human rights protection. This is a generation growing up with a dual spirit, love for their religion and loyalty to their homeland. The presence of media and digital platforms has also given space to new narratives about Islam in the UK. Inspirational stories about Muslim success in various fields are now more accessible, eroding stereotypes that often color public discourse. This opens the door to healthier dialogue and deeper understanding between citizens.